we are. Hi.
Hello.
So, can you just tell everybody first a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Christopher Leach. I live in Dallas, Texas. I started out playing the oboe, I guess, I came about the opera world in a really roundabout sort of way. I took the oboe all the way through college, and then my ear training teacher was like, "You have a very good voice. You need to join my choir." So I did. Started taking voice lessons, auditioned for the opera, really liked that, dropped oboe, went away with opera. So,
Awesome. Oboe's off in some corner crying now. Okay.
yeah, that poor thing. So, yeah, but I've been singing with Dallas Opera's education and outreach program. I think this was my 5th season.
Okay.
So, yeah, I've been here for a while.
Fun. Cool. Okay, so what are we going to work on?
Today we're working on Dalla sua pace from Don Giovanni. Yeah, it's a fun little piece.
Yeah, we're going to talk more about, so we're going to kind of like try to avoid all things technical in some ways. We'll see. It depends on how we kind of feel about it. But generally to talk a little bit about the character, right? And to talk a little bit about how to, in blunt terms, how to act this aria, because it is kind of an awkward aria. Mm-hmm. It's really awkward. What are some of your thoughts and sort of feelings about it, and how has it been going for you thus far?
It's an experience. I'm finding a lot of the times that Ottavio himself is being played really, really weak.
Yeah.
And in that, you just kind of like, in those scenarios, you just have to sort of play it and sing it. Really, like there's not much fun you can do with it. But if he's allowed to be the human that he is, wherein he actually cares about Donna Anna, and he's the noble that he's by society not allowed to express all of this internal emotion. But if we're allowed to at least peek into that and crack the veneer a little bit and see it, then I don't know, it feels like it would play a lot better. Especially if they don't actually cut Il Mio Tesoro or something like that, then you get a really nice balance of the really loving, caring character and then his ire later. So, yeah.
I love it. Okay, so let's just go through the first, we can kind of go through maybe the first verse of it. You can sing through it. I talk as if like I don't have anything to do with it. And then let's kind of see just how you feel about it. Even in that first, even before we start with that just first iteration of the melody, basically, what in this moment when he is singing this, what do you sort of feel is going on? Like we all kind of know what's happened, but for those who don't, what has happened? What's he trying to accomplish in this moment?
Well, right now, Elvira, ooh, wrong character. Donna Anna, sorry, I have a problem going on here. We're good. Donna Anna has sort of had a little breakdown. And he is not comforting her in this one. What is going on? Stop it. I have my keyboard up here in front of me and it's making noises. Donna Anna has had a little breakdown and she's realized that Giovanni is the man that has accosted her, and he hasn't quite come to terms with that, but we're finding that Ottavio is what's the word, devoted to her, in that he's whatever her feelings on any matter are going to be his. Yeah, and exploring this has been interesting.
Well, it's a complicated aria because he says a lot of the words over and over and over again, and most of the time she's left the stage already, right?
Yeah. It feels really weird having Anna on stage.
Yeah, she's never there, and so in fact, I feel like the many times that I've sung Zerlina, And then when I did the one time Elvira, like I always feel like I'm on stage, and I always feel like I'm the person that the director puts in front of the Ottavio to sing for. So I feel like this sung at me many times.
It's so weird. The last time I saw it, I think it was TDO, and it was just Ottavio. I think in both arias it was just Ottavio, and I think I liked that better. It was allowed to be introspective and you know, yeah. So you're not actually singing to a character. Why is Elvira there? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's very funny because of course, it's like as the aria goes on, he's like, "Really, go," and everybody's like, "We're just gonna stay here for your aria, dude." And the director told us to leave after. So anyway, as we go on, so let's just kind of go into it.
Sure.
Because so literally it says "dalla sua pace," right? Like give her peace, right? La mia dipende. Let's see here. Qual che a lei piace, vita mi rende. Right. Right. Qual che a lei piace, vita mi rende. So the things that please her will give me life, right? He's really just saying, essentially, right? Like give her everything that I have right now so that she could feel better.
Yeah.
I would just give everything for this woman right now so that she could come out of this place that she is in, right? So, right, the key is to say all these things in the century that we live in now. Stay strong and not lose yourself in the process, right? So let's go ahead and just sing that first phrase, and let's just kind of get into it and see how we feel.
Sure.
I say we again. Is this
in spirit? Dalla sua pace la mia dipende, quel che a lei piace, vita mi rende. Quel che lei cresce, morte mi dà. Morte mi dà.
good? Let's because it's so beautiful.
Thank you.
So beautiful. Okay, so I'm a kind of a hyper realism in a way. I think maybe not that person. I really like to kind of get into the words, really like it's a play, and really try to kind of express them that way in a simpler, forget that it's opera kind of a thing, If you were to just say those words and you pretend you were speaking to somebody, just for now, because sometimes it gives a better direction to the words. But if you were to just say, if you were speaking to Anna's best friend in the world, and you were saying to this person, at the end of this whole phrase, you want to say, I want to marry her. Do you think she'll marry me? Right.
Right.
You're coming into this by saying all these things. This is the woman I love. This is who I want to be with. I would give everything to be with her. And go ahead and you say the Italian and kind of give it that sort of feeling like you're really just talking this out at the moment.
Okay. Dalla sua pace la mia dipende. Quel che a lei piace vita mi rende. Quel che le incresce morte mi dà. Morte mi dà, morte mi dà. Hello, roommate. It's not open. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and do it again, and even more, just almost really conversational.
Okay. Okay. Dalla sua pace la mia dipende.
Right. So even more. Now let's try even more confident in the words that you're saying and in the feelings that you have for this person and how you're expressing them to the friend. You want to just, it's dalla sua pace la mia difende. Dalla sua pace, instead of that sort of confusion of it. Just let it really sink into you and your voice and kind of like who you are as a person.
Okay. Dalla sua pace la mia dipende. Quel che a lei piace, piace, sorry. Quel che a lei piace, vita mi rende.
Good. Even more, and we're gonna just do it a couple more times because this is where we start to get uncomfortable, right? And our bodies start to show like how bad poker players we really are. Like I would be a terrible poker player because I would get uncomfortable and I would start like, twitching or like sink into like lean into that uncomfortable nature of what it means to like act but be you really. Is be like dalla sua pace la mia difende, and then go on to the next one. Che a lei piace vita mi rende. Even if it's not perfect like the Italian, fine. But just as long as you're really kind of the words are really coming out in a comprehensive way in your brain, you really know what you're saying every moment, every word that comes out.
Okay. Dalla sua pace la mia dipende. Quel che a lei piace vita mi rende.
Good, right. So it's like quel che a lei piace. And so now you can kind of add this accent of the Italian now. No, but it's all steps, right? So quel che a lei piace vita mi rende. Do that one line again.
Quel che a lei piace vita mi rende.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Good.
Go on. Okay.
That's fine. And then quel che a lei incresce. Yeah.
Quel che lei incresce morte mi dà.
Right. So now, since you say it a couple times, this is the choice, as we all know. You can make the choices as to how you really feel about all of this, right? So, quel che lei cresce, morte mi dà. It's like, did you just say this because it kind of came to you in that moment?
Right.
And then you repeat it again because you're really hearing yourself say those words and you really mean it? Like it really kills me. Like it actively pains you to see her upset, or are you just sort of being poetic? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think in his genuine self, he is probably supremely, viscerally pained by her pain, right? If that's the route you want to take him, to make him that whole person that you said he was, right?
Mm-hmm. Quel che lei incresce morte mi dà. Morte mi dà.
Right. So even more, let's go get really deep into our roots of that painful honesty of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Think about maybe your parents, or if you have a sibling or a loved one or a pet. I mean, it could be anybody or anything that you really, if you see them sad or you see them crying, it gives you that lump in your throat, right? Because you just don't want to see them hurt. Or you think about things that are going on in the world and the injustices of the world, right? And you can kind of go to that place and just say, like, when I see these injustices, it makes me, it hurts me, it kills me inside. And that's the same right idea. It's like, quel che l'incresce morte mi dà. Quel che l'incresce morte mi dà. And then it's like, yeah, morte is this pain inside, morte mi dà. Go ahead and try that again.
Quel che lei incresce morte mi dà. Morte mi dà.
Good. I like it. So go ahead back to the beginning now. And with that idea, now you really kind of, I think, are tapping into this idea that he really feels for her. Mm-hmm. So he has to feel now all the pains and all the joys, right? Because he kind of relies on all of those for his own. Like you said, but yet he has to be this strong person, right? So, and I think he can be strong and have all these feelings that seem so linked to somebody else, right? Dalla sua pace la mia dipende. So maybe this first one isn't so sad or so down in the demony areas yet, right? But it gets there rather quickly.
That escalated quickly.
Right?
Yeah.
This absolute hope. This just, please, whether he's religious or not, or, she is, they all seem to be in some ways in this piece. Yeah. So, dalla sua pace, la mia, it's like a hope, a prayer or something.
Dalla sua pace, la mia dipende. Quel che a lei piace, vita mi rende.
Right. So this is sort of like the happier side of it, right? Like,
Yeah.
vita mi rende. So just think like, just imagine her, oh, imagine her like
Yeah.
glowing because of something she loves. Like you think this is beautiful, right? It could be anything. It could be you love watching her eat chocolate cake, you know? You know what I mean? Like I get a kick like when my son really enjoys food, obviously it's a different relationship, but it's that same sense of sort of pride or happiness that it ensues from watching that kind of a thing. So it could be anything. It could be you love watching her run through the fields because she loves it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, watching her laugh makes you laugh, right?
Okay. Dalla sua pace la mia dipende, quel che a lei piace vita mi rende, quel che le incresce morte mi dà, morte mi dà.
Yeah, cool. So even in those 4 lines, you have so many places to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could do like this prayer that goes into this wonderfully happy place that reminds you of like, but when she's really unhappy, I don't know what to do with myself. I am hurting so badly. I don't know what to do. Okay. And I feel like I'm gonna die. You know, it's almost like he's also trying to find himself perhaps throughout. Do you want to go back now and sing all of those?
Sure, yeah.
We've added 20,000 pages to them.
Right. Alla sua pace la mia dipende, quel che a lei piace vita mi rende, quel che lei incresce morte mi dà.
Nice. How does that feel?
That felt great.
Was it fun to sort of have other stuff to think about?
Yes, actually.
Right? Yeah.
Everyone all the time says it. Is if you're not thinking about the technique, if you're actually thinking about the character, the technique just sort of sits there. And that right there was just the easiest thing to sing.
Yeah. It sounded awesome. That was so good. It was just like, and it was so powerful too, you know, like, especially when you get to like, Morte mi dà, you know, that line right there in the beforehand, because you can feel this sort of transition from this kind of happy sort of love to how devastating this love is also.
Yeah.
Right? It has both sides. Okay, let's go on.
Okay.
And the next one. So now you're basically expanding on what you're saying.
Yeah.
Always we do in opera often. We talk a lot about things we're going to talk about, and then when we talk about them, we talk about them in detail. And then we go back and we repeat ourselves.
I love ADA.
Just in case you didn't hear it the first time. So, right, so it's like, if she's sighing, then I'm sighing, right? Mm-hmm. Her anger
is mine.
Crying, right, is mine, right, la la la. Like, let's see here. If she has, what's this next part here in mind? No, bebe. No.
If she, I don't have joy if she doesn't have joy.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Right. Okay, so again, lots of repeats. So reasons to think about why you keep on repeating these things, you know. Mm-hmm. One of them, again, the ideas of the hopes that you're going to be able to have these ups and downs again with her. I don't think you're asking for the downs to necessarily go away. I think you're concerned that she is going away. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
And I think that
like she's very much going away right now.
Right. And I think that's so much more interesting than just, oh, Don Ottavio has like nothing else going on for him except for her. And this is, you know, it's so much more than that. I think he is seeing that it's been so bad, he's going to lose her, if not definitely, certainly for a long period of time. Mm-hmm. So it could be bits and pieces as you go through here, you know, you are recalling information, you're recalling memories and recalling those moments with her in desperation, in a way, to hold on to them, mm-hmm. right? So go ahead and go into that section.
Se la sospira, sospiro anch'io, e mia quell'ira, quel pianto è mio e non ho bene, se la non ho bene, se non l'ha e non ho bene, se la non l'ha.
Yeah. So how do you feel during this section here?
I feel like Mozart helps a lot in this. What do you mean, how do I feel?
Just curious, like, how do you feel going through it? Like what kind of thoughts come up as you go through? You know, we have the ability, I think, to really identify as we're singing whether we were truly singing the text or whether we were singing what we think we are supposed to be singing based on what people have told us to sound.
Yeah. There was a lot of in and out for that.
Sure.
Especially towards the, where was it? The descending A, no, bad. It's like, ooh, tuning is a thing. I don't know where that's going. And then like the character went out of the way. So, yeah, the first bit felt fine character-wise. It's like I'm seeing her sigh, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna sigh too. And I'm not sure where I want to take her rage being mine, sort of thing. Like I don't want to like obviously like play the rage, right? That's too pastiche, I guess. It's just like we don't need like theater masks sort of in this bit. So like being subtle about this is where I'm not.
Right. I understand the feeling of like not always being like, we're talking about happy, so I should smile. We're talking about sad, so right. Yeah. Totally understand that. So if anything, just like I would on these kinds of areas, because of the nature of the music as well, like really going for the text, especially even in the way you produce the sound. So you're really getting the words out. You know, se la sospira. So really using the words here. Se la sospira, sospira anch'io. So you're really saying those words, right? E mia quell'ira. You know, quell'ira, quel pianto. So you're really using now the words perhaps to color what you're feeling. So you don't feel like you said, you don't have to be the drama masks. You can just use the words this time to do it more than anything. That's very good. So let me say, I want to think also when you get to the end of that section and you're I know everybody sings it so kind of beautifully, and you sing it beautifully. Give it some other idea, just for now, rather than just this sort of like beautiful sound. Maybe it's this longing, and maybe it's this. Maybe you are in that act of singing those notes, hoping that she can hear you, you know, or hoping that she's gonna feel you in that moment, saying, I really don't want to do this without you, and I hope you feel the same way. So that when you repeat your da la sua pace.
Yeah, it takes us right into that. Yeah.
It takes you right into it. And it also gives you options as to where you want to take that next dalla sua pace. Because in your mind, it could be, maybe she is going to come back. And so you could really go into this like uber hopeful place. Or maybe it goes into this like, if it's not me, then maybe I'm a good enough person to still wish upon her all things good, even if I can't be there for her.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's so much more kind of layered. So go ahead and do that middle section into the sort of transition and just see kind of where it takes you.
Okay, Sella Sospira. From the top of the B section. Okay. Sella sospira, sospiro anch'io, e mia quell'ira, quel pianto è mio e non ho bene, se la non ho bene, se non l'ha, e non ho bene, se la non dalla sua pace mia dipende quel che a lei piace, vita mi rende, quel che lei cresce, morte mi dà. Morte mi dà, dalla sua pace la mia dipende, quel che a lei piace, vita mi rende, quel che lei cresce, morte mi dà. Morte mi dà.
Good, 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 good. I want to ask you, in that middle section there, so what were you, where did you go from that middle section and then into the repeat of the first of the main section? What happened?
I went more into the thought was just almost a beg. Please just let her be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because if she isn't, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Just the bare bones. I feel way better in the B section than I do in the A section because I know where I want to be for this one. I want this one to be more plaintive and more more reserved, dynamically, and then at least for that opening bit. And then when he gets into when she's angry, like he's actually feeling that incense there.
Right.
But through the transition, it was more of a color change than it was a thought change in my head. I went from whatever color was going in there to something, I see white, just like a haze of white there. And then, I don't know.
I wanted to do that, just that last phrase into the transition again. Se la nonna. This has last part. De no no bene. Se la nonna. Right.
Uh-huh.
Again, that little arpeggio up there. You said begging, which is a good word. Make it even more begging, even vocally, just to see what it feels like for you. I know everyone does it super smooth. Just for now, a little, even if it's a little, just like. Ah, 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 you know, you really take that beg into that first phrase, and then you can go from begging, like her happiness makes me so happy, you know, love me, you know, and you think of this da dee da da. I love your little da da dee da 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 dee da da. That was beautiful. You know, those things are really wonderful, and they come from something, right? It's like, so I want you to think about, just do that transition again into just the verse, and really think about like how these feelings feel on your face.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like the begging and the happiness, and like how they translate into the face, how your eyes see and blink and feel, and like, let's just do that little transition one more time.
Okay.
Yeah, good. Good. How's that feel?
I liked it.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I liked it. Yeah.
Good. I liked it too. I liked it too. So I always think like a lot of times we get into this place sometimes where we feel all the things, and sometimes they don't always like come through that last little barrier, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times what tends to happen is we get sort of like, we see things almost in such a distant place where we forget to blink. Like we forget that, we forget that we're in real life, because it's not real life, it's an opera, but it is real life in some ways, right? And so it's like you kind of have to find that root that keeps you in the reality of the feelings. Do you know what I mean? So they don't become so grandiose that there's things that are harder to communicate, that they are still very valid feelings. This feeling of begging, like you said, or the feeling of like despair, feelings that you can feel very much like in your body rather than out beyond your body.
Mm-hmm.
And that way you can kind of play with those dynamics as well. And I always find that they're helpful in terms of the way the face reacts to things, you know. It was really good though.
Thank you.
Yeah, it feels good. Sounds great.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I was afraid of this aria for a very, very long time. I preferred Il mio tesoro to this for a while. And now they've definitely flip-flopped. I hate Il mio tesoro right now.
I feel loving when arias that generally flip-flop. I feel like there's so many of those in so many pieces that throughout your life and your career, for years you're going, oh, I can't wait to sing that one. And then all of a sudden it swaps. And you go, what happened?
For sure.
I know, but this is a tricky one, and I've always felt for the tenors, you know. because it's so beautiful too. So it's so very easy to get lost in just the beauty of it. And in some ways we forget the words. I think it's one of those artists that we all learn the word dalla sua pace, and then I'm not sure how many people really know the rest of the text.
Yeah. The number of times I've messed up that dalla sua pace, la mia dipende, where it just comes in all of the words at once. Nope. Number of times I screwed that up has been
Exactly. So you just kind of like sort it out in your brain as to like why he says these things, why he repeats them. But that's great.
Awesome.
Nice job. Thanks
you.
for letting me like. Blah, blah, blah.
Absolutely, I love this. Every time I get a chance to do work like this
it's fun.
Yeah.
Interesting. It makes it interesting, and it certainly helps sometimes. Sometimes, you know, like you said, vocally. Sometimes it's helpful to get the brain to just
get it your own way. Yeah.
A minute, be like, whatever, it's gonna sound like whatever it's gonna sound like.
Yeah.
Amazing. It's so nice to meet you. Thanks for.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.